next on All Access.
I'm Dan Roach. With the Patriots set to open up their season Sunday in Cincinnati, we'll check in with the players and get their thoughts as a team and also what their expectations are for the season.
I'm Scott Zolak, and I sit down with Jerod Mayo before his first game as the Patriots head coach.
I think there's a very thin line, between being nervous or anxious and excited.
I'm Mike Reese, and I'll tell you the position that concerns me the most heading into the regular season.
And I'm Steve Burton. Those stories plus Kenny Chesney.
This is the only place where we feel connected to a region, not just a city.
As All Access kicks off right now.
I have decided that Jacoby Brissett will be our starting quarterback this season.
That's head coach Jerod Mayo announcing to all who the starting quarterback of the Patriots will be. Hello and welcome to a brand new season of Patriots All Access presented by Geico. I'm Steve Burton. The quarterback position stole most of the headlines this preseason, but it will be an entirely new team that takes the field in Cincinnati when the Patriots take on the Bengals on Sunday afternoon. Dan Roach gets us ready for the game as the Patriots kick off the 2024 season.
They've gone through 20 training camp practices, including a joint workout with the Eagles and 3 preseason games. And despite the prognosticators predicting a tough year, this team is excited for its season opener Sunday in Cincy.
Nobody's expect us to be a good defense. Nobody expect us to be a good team, overall team. I love it. It's just, I love being a sleeper. That's when you creep right up on them.
The New England Patriots select Drake May, quarterback, North Carolina.
Welcome, everyone. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce our #1 draft choice, Drake May.
Drake May was drafted 3rd overall, and the rookie's time will come. But for now, this is Jacoby Brissett's team.
Excited for our team, to go on the road the first week and kind of, make our imprint this year and, what this 2024 season is going to be.
Over the past 6 weeks, the Pats defense lost Christian Barmore to a blood clot issue, while Matthew Judon was traded. But the expectations remain high.
Nothing changed for us as far as the high expectations. We are our own worst critics, so we always want each other hard, all that kind of things. And so ain't nothing changed for us. We're excited we're getting after it.
And don't forget special teams, which finished near the bottom of the NFL in many categories last season.
We're going to have, a lot of contributions from a lot of players all over the roster. And for us to win games, we're going to have to be good on special teams. So, that's our goal, is developing guys, developing them to be as tough as possible.
Meanwhile, as far as the Bengals are concerned, under Zach Taylor, their head coach for the past 5 seasons, in the first 2 weeks of the season, they're just 1-9 under him. So perhaps this is a great opportunity for the Patriots come Sunday. With the Patriots here at Gillette Stadium for Patriots All Access, I'm Dan Roach.
All right, Dan Roach, thank you very much. Joining us now is Mike Reese and Paul Perillo in our brand new Bob's Discount Furniture Studios.
Nice.
I like this.
Good stuff.
New digs, right?
Looking good.
You guys,
too negative
so
for
much.
you?
You guys are way too negative. Way too negative. We're just starting the season, and you're already way too negative. Let's talk about this quarterback's decision, okay? First of all, do you like it?
So I'm a little disappointed.
This is what I'm talking about, right out of the gate. But go ahead, do you like it?
I'm disappointed. I think it's probably the right decision, Mike. I mean, if I had to really look at it objectively, I'd say it's probably the right thing for Drake May. But I'm disappointed. I liked what I saw in the summer. Is that too negative for you? I liked what I saw from the 3rd overall pick. I thought there was a lot of athleticism on display. I thought his development looked like it was on track to have a chance to start the season. I'm a little disappointed that he's not. I don't really see the negativity there.
I don't either. I think it's the right decision for the team right now. Jacoby Brissett, the reason they signed him, think about why they signed him in the first place. It was so they didn't feel rushed into the decision. And I think in this case, you can wait however long it is to just give Drake May a little more time to settle in, knowing you have a veteran who's started 48 career games.
Were there mixed messages in making this decision?
So I think there were a little bit, because I felt like from the start, and this is going back to April, Mike, I thought this was where we were going to end up. Jacoby Brissett was going to start the season as the starting quarterback. I thought Jerod Mayo several times along the way referred to him as our star, our QB1 at the time.
He did.
Yep.
But then the last week, all of a sudden, we're listening to him talk and mention that maybe that May had outplayed Brissett recently. Now he has since added some context to those comments. So I do think there was a little bit of mixed messaging, but I think this is where we all felt it was going to wind up.
And I can see why some people would think there was mixed messages. To me, there wasn't. It was just honest transparency. 2 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago, when the Eagles came here for joint practice, I don't think anyone was talking about Drake May as a realistic option as a starter. No. He played well in that game. He played well in practice and played well against the Commanders. So I view it as like a horse race. Jerod Mayo was telling us, hey, at the point the Eagles came in, Jacoby Brissett was almost at the rail as they came down the home stretch. And all of a sudden, Drake May started like making a charge for this thing. And it just wasn't enough at the end to get to, you know, the finish line first. So I don't think it was a mixed message as much as this was like the honesty.
Don't go far, because we got a little
long
later on
season
the show.
ahead. We got this.
All right, we'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
Coming up on All Access. Get to know Patriots cornerback Christian Gonzalez.
Seafood's one of my favorite foods. I've always loved seafood. Salmon, crab, crawfish, any type of seafood I like.
But first, a conversation with head coach Jerod Mayo.
You know, after we looked at the full body of work, we thought Jacoby gave us the best chance to win. And I made it known to the team. I made it known to the individuals, you know, Jacoby and Drake, like this is the direction that we're going.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots. By Sports Illustrated Tickets, 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets, 0 fees. Fans deserve better. Visit sitickets.com today. And by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots.
Let's go, man. Let's go fly around, make a lot of plays, man. Let's go cheer on each other, man. Let's go out there and just have some fun. Let's go. Playmakers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Playmakers.
Welcome to Gillette Stadium for preseason game number 1 between the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers.
Receivers right with the snap to Plummer. Time in the pocket. Now he's throwing down, and Dietrich Wise able to get to him from the blind side. Joe Milton takes over in the 7-0 lead. He pumps and then throws, fires and throws it right into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots! Tonight the Patriots finish with the upper hand. New England wins it over Carolina.
Opportunity. Opportunity, don't let it pass you by. Opportunity. Make the most of it. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Foxborough's Gillette Stadium for the second preseason game of 2024 between the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. 3rd down and 11. Shotgun snap to May, dropping back, screen, sit left. A catch and run by Hasty across the 20 to the 15. Cut right inside the 10. 1st and goal to go at the Philadelphia 7. 3rd and goal to go, snap to the quarterback. A fake and a roll to the right. He's going to keep, and he's going to waltz into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots, and Drake May.
They're making it look like pass with the tackle staggered, okay?
Pickett's in trouble. He's brought down by Uche. Pickett in trouble. It's a sack for Dion White. He's pressured by Wise, and he is sacked by Wise.
What a gorgeous Sunday night in our nation's capital. It's the Commanders and the Patriots coming up next.
Washington bails out of pressure, and May pulls it down and takes off. Gets a 1st down past the 25-yard line. And throws beautiful. On time and on target to Jalen Polk. Rookie to rookie inside the 40, down to the 36-yard line. Pressure again. Fires. Getting out of tackle. Kevin Harris to the end zone. And in for the touchdown. Kevin Harris
Drake May.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access 71. We're going to do things a little bit different outside here at Gillette Stadium. Beautiful day for football, and I'm standing with no other, actually walking with no other, the Patriots captain, David Andrews, and who's entering, by the way, his 10th year in the National Football League. Now, if you go back 2015, September, and I were to tell you you're going to be playing 10 years in the NFL, what would you tell me?
Probably you're crazy, and I need some whatever you're drinking, I guess. So, I looking back, being undrafted, I had no idea what was going to happen, and I just never took any day for granted. I got to come in this building, and being 10 years in now, it's kind of like the other side of that, and you're finding, still taking that, and trying not to take anything for granted every opportunity you get.
Could you go another 10?
Not another 10. No, I don't have the Jackie Slater blood in me.
8 straight years now.
Yeah.
You've been voted a captain of this football team.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot, and I don't think it's something that you just fake or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always just, I watch guys. I watched Jerod and how he was, and I watched a guy like Ryan Wendell, who was a captain when I first got in here, and just obviously the Devins, the Slates, Tom, all those guys. I just watched them and how they carried themselves, how they treated people, how they did everything. But also at the same time, I had to find what fit my role, and what was, truly David. And that's what I always tried to do.
It's a great point.
Yeah, and I think just because we have captains, there's also great leaders on this football team that aren't captains, and it's been like that forever. So, and that's what you got to have to try to have success.
You mentioned your head coach, Jerod Mayo.
Yeah.
This year, he decided to put patches on your uniforms to indicate that you're captains. What does that mean to you? And does that visual recognition, is that important?
I don't know if it's that important. I do think it's cool, like the gold C and things like that,
Sure.
But to me, it's not, I know my truths and whatever you want to say, and but, it's cool. It'll be cool to have it and, have it in the collection.
What are captains' meetings like with Mayo? He was a captain once.
Yeah, no, I think, he understands it because he's gotten both sides of the fence,
Correct.
right? Which is a unique perspective for me because I've never really been coached by someone who's played in the league. From position coach,
Interesting.
And so it's a different, situation. And so him knowing that, I think, is really cool. And, you can see he really wants to be a player-led team, which you got to do to have success. All our teams in the past, when we've been successful, the players were the really driving force behind it.
Take me inside that locker room. What's the energy like heading into week 1?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement, right? A lot of excitement for, for the organization, kind of turning the page. And obviously we got a lot of new guys. And it's a great opportunity for those guys to get out there and play. I think we're all just super excited to really go out there, showcase all the hard work you put in, individually in the offseason and together as a team through OTAs, training camp, to now this.
The offensive line.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got a bullseye on your back?
Look, I think anytime you play offensive line, you got a bullseye on your back, right?
Okay.
Like, my uncle always told me the only time they talk about offensive linemen is when you get a penalty. So, there's a lot of truth to that. But, look, it's part of it. And, we've got a great opportunity, like I said, to rise to the occasion, go out there. And the good thing is if, hey, you go out there and have a bad week or a good week, well, guess what? Come Monday, it really don't matter now. You got to move on to the next one,
right?
So, that's a big thing, is not riding the highs and lows of the season. But we have a great opportunity. I'm excited for the guys. Go out there and put their best foot forward.
Is that line a work in progress?
Well, like City's banged up, so
Right.
like I think it's always a work in progress, unfortunately, throughout the year, right? And if you're ever like, oh, we're good, we got it, that's probably a sign of disaster,
That's why you're the captain.
So I think, look, like, and it's a competition every week. Like if you don't look at it like that, like, hey, I got it, we're good. I think you're on a slippery slope. And so you got to put your best foot forward every week. You got to try to get better each week. And to have success in this league, it's not the teams that start off, and do this. It's the teams that constantly get better week after week after week. And that's what we're going to try to do.
David Andrews.
Appreciate it, man.
Good luck on Sunday in Cincy.
Thank you.
Fired up for week 1 here. Head coach Jerod Mayo joins me now. Before we get to Cincinnati, preseason, how did it go for you? What'd you think about it?
I think it went well. I think the guys went out there each and every day and competed, and we got better each and every day. So Excited for the regular season to come up, but I thought the first preseason went well.
Quarterback, obviously, we've been talking quarterback since free agency even started, even before, right when you got the job. How much went into the decision to start Jacoby and name him your starter week 1?
I mean, it's the most important position in sports, in my opinion. And, you know, after we looked at the full body of work, we thought Jacoby gave us the best chance to win. And I made it known to the team. I made it known to the individuals, you know, Jacoby and Drake. Like, this is the direction that we're going, and I feel like everyone's pulling in the same direction. And I wanted him to know that, you know, there's 100% of the organization behind you as we move forward.
And on the flip side of that, you had to talk to Drake too individually to make sure he's still coming on, right?
That's right. And look, we still have that developmental plan that we talked about over the last few weeks. You know, he'll continue to grow. He'll do the scout team. He'll get some first team reps as well. And we're going to prepare. I told him to prepare like he's the starter each and every week, and he's done that here as of late.
Off of that, for a successful season as the head coach of the New England Patriots and your team in general, is it important that Drake plays this year?
You know, that's the hard balance is, you know, the struggle that Elliott and I have. It's we want to win now and also build this roster for the foreseeable future. And it's definitely tough, but it's very important to the organization that Drake get some experience, learn how to, you know, deal with the game plan elements of things and continue to develop because he is the future, and I don't think it's a secret.
All right, on to Cincinnati.
On to Cincinnati.
Heard that before. I'm excited for this game. You got a game plan now as a head coach. How different is it game planning as an assistant coach to now, here I got a lot more on my plate?
You know, it is different. I would say it's just more time consuming. You got to remember, look, I played special teams, I played defense, and I've seen, so, you know, in coaching defense, you watch a lot of offenses. So I understand that element. Once again, I have to lean on the coaches, and I have to have faith that I pick the right coaches to come in here and implement game plans that we see fit. But overall, you know, when you set out the targets for the week, it doesn't matter what position, head coach, coordinator, position coach, I think we all see it pretty much the same way on how to take away a certain thing here or what we want to do in this game, and I feel like I'm in alignment with the rest of the coaches.
Time now for Ask Me Almost Anything. It's a new segment that we have brought to you by Sports Illustrated Tickets, and our internet question of the week is from @Luke00. Do you ever get nervous, Jerod?
Yes, I'm a human being. I get nervous. I think there's a very thin line between being nervous or anxious and excited. Yeah. And I try to always lean to the excited side, but you know, you absolutely get nervous. But once the whistle blows and the first play goes, like it's showtime and the butterflies are gone.
What's your routine on game day?
Routine on game day? No, I do.
Yeah.
You know, I just work out. I work out and you know, then just get ready to go. I don't have a big routine as far as that's concerned.
Favorite music? You like jamming too?
Anything with an up-tempo beat. You know, I don't want to get into genres or anything like that, but anything with an up-tempo beat, and that's you know, just really coming from the locker room. You know, the locker room, you hear all different types of music, and I'm a fan of a bunch of different genres.
All right, Jerod, great stuff. Get to learn a lot about you. But if you want to ask the coach a question next week, you go to patriots.com/askcoach. I know you're going to be back later in the show, but first, more Patriots All Access will return right after this.
Seafood is one of my favorite foods. I've always loved seafood. Salmon, crab, crawfish, any type of seafood I like.
Yeah, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me. Look at me.
R&B, Brent Faiyaz, favorite musician that I be listening to almost 90% of the day. I be having him on. I'm a real mellow guy, so I don't really like to have too much going on with the music-wise. Just keep it chill. Anybody that knows me knows this. Triphobia, fear of little holes. If you cut a bell pepper around me, I will freak out. I can't look at the seeds, I can't do none of that. So if I'm cooking and I need a bell pepper, most of the time I have somebody else cut it just because I don't know what about it, just really, I can't do it. I've tried multiple times, but I can't get around it. I love cooking. That's one of my favorite hobbies. I like to do when I go home. It kind of just relaxes me. Just another way I can express myself. My boys at Oregon know this. The seafood pasta I used to make all the time. They like that a lot. We would come together and just as a team we would eat. Sometimes I'd cook for them. 4th of July we would go out there, get on the grill, make some mac and cheese, burgers, easy stuff like that. But I kind of like to just make whatever I'm feeling in that moment.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. It's time now for our player spotlight, where we bring in a coach of a positional group, and he's going to look at a player and tell you why the player is making winning plays. Jerry Montgomery, defensive line coach, joins me at Jeremiah Farms. Going to start with him.
Absolutely. Just a couple guys that I wanted to show in some plays that represent Patriot football. And Jeremiah Farms and Tristan Hill had a great camp. I want to start off here. Obviously, I like to start with first and second down, stopping the run. Well, this is just as important. Play pass, all right, max up, max protection. As you're going to see here, 7-man protection. It's a 2-man route. And a lot of double teams, but the one guy that gets the one-on-one has to win. And so this is a great example of a guy here. All right, I've got him highlighted there. All right, but play and run first. All right, so we're in a read and react stance. So we've got to protect the B gap. All right, which he does, and then he gets high hat. So now we got to transition and get after the quarterback. So he does a great job of what we'd call a forklift, all right, getting to an edge and being able to finish on the quarterback here.
So when you say, not to interrupt you, but when you say B gap for everybody at home, it's that second gap to the right between the guard and the tackle, right?
Yeah, so when we look at this thing here, we'll talk about A, B, C, and then as we highlight him, all right, he is responsible for this gap in the run game. And then on pass, he will have a 2-way go, which will allow him to either rush in the B or in the C. And as you can see, he protects the B gap for the run. He gets action away, but he feels a soft set by the offensive tackle. Now he gets to what we call a transition rush. A forklift here, all right, gets his hips to the edge, and he's able to finish on the quarterback. Critical situation on an early down, all right, to be able to allow our rushers on the field for third down.
How important is it to get that leverage? And defensive linemen, you teach them to use their hands, right?
Absolutely. Yep. That's our lifeblood. So if you don't play with your hands, it's hard to be productive as a D lineman. So it's one of the most important things we do, whether it's in the run or in the pass. That allows you to be productive in the run or in the pass game.
All right, Coach, this is the Commanders game, final preseason game. We looked at the left side. Now we go to the right side with Tristan Hill.
Yeah. So, again, another individual that had a great camp that is with our team right now. We're going to look at Tristan here. All right. He's going to be aligned in the shade. All right. That is shaded one way or the other opposite of the center. We get a block back. So he's got to tell the difference between a stretch and a reach block, all right, or a block back here. He gets flat, all right, back by the tackle, by the center, I should say. The offense, as you can see, would like to pin him in, all right? We like to stay square to the line of scrimmage and not go 1-for-1. In this instance, he does a great job of seeing this block, playing back into this one, and more importantly, being disruptive, getting over the top of this block, all right, and taking 2, all right? What I mean by taking 2 here is, all right, great job of seeing it. He gets over the top. That's one offensive player he's defeated. Now he's taking on another. All right, what that does is create a nobody block for him. All right, so we've just allowed a free hitter to the football. Even though Tristan doesn't make this play, he's disruptive in taking out 2 blockers and allowing 44, all right, to be a free hitter on the run. So this is a really good job, all right, goes unnoticed, all right, but that's the life we live in up front.
He's a guy that's got a big motor. Seems like it's just constant.
Yeah, unbelievable motor, plays hard, and again, one thing you can't make up for, you can't teach, right? Sometimes guys either have it or they don't. Right. And up front, we value guys that play with high motors and high effort, and he's one of those guys.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Good
Absolutely.
Luck against Cincinnati.
Yep.
Go get him.
Thank you.
Get Joe Burrow. All right,
Absolutely.
More Patriots All Access. We'll return right after this.
Coming up on All Access.
We go back nearly 40 years for a memorable win against the Bengals.
Touchdown, Robert Weathers. They put the game away.
But first, we talk to country music superstar and Patriots fan Kenny Chesney.
I think we have a lot of the same values. Both of us, work really hard and have built something from the ground up, and I don't know, there's just mutual respect.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar, Gillette's ultimate shaving experience.
Welcome back to All Access, presented by Geico. As summer turns into fall, Gillette Stadium wrapped up their concert series with 3 sold-out shows by Kenny Chesney. Chesney's ties to the New England area, the Patriots, and the Kraft family are legendary. We had a chance to sit down with the leader of No Shoes Nation to get his thoughts on all those topics, plus much more.
We always do a lunch on a Friday before my first show in Foxborough. He told me that day, he goes, music and sports bring people together more than anything else that we have in our lives. And especially in today's society, those things are really true. I mean, there's a lot of division and there's a lot of hate and there's a lot of stuff going on in our country. And I truly believe that he's right now more than ever. And I just think that's why. I think we have a lot of the same values. Both of us, work really hard and have built something from the ground up, and I don't know, there's just mutual respect.
Working on a 20-plus year relationship with a billionaire football ownership. Yeah. Why do you think that relationship has endured?
Robert and I have been in each other's lives in good times and bad times. The ring ceremony was right up there. I I wasn't expecting that. Being at the Super Bowl down 28-3, and I kept telling Robert and Jonathan, they were upset at halftime. That was a tough halftime to be in the suite. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because they wear their feelings. I mean, they care about this stuff, obviously. But I kept telling them, just wait. And it's little by little, they just kept coming back. And I'm telling you, that was that's got to be one of my most favorite moments ever. I grew up on Tennessee football, and so the players that played for Tennessee, for us, not having pro football in your life, they were as big as anyone.
Back as he's to look at a throw, and he sends it deep down the middle. He's got a receiver. Stanley Morgan, touchdown.
So I loved Stanley Morgan, Willie Gault, and a lot of the guys that played at Tennessee. When he played for the Patriots, that's when I started following the Patriots. And the new coach, Jerod Mayo, played at Tennessee. So I knew who he was, a long time ago, because he played under Phil Fulmer at Tennessee.
It seems like almost a perfect marriage between football, music, and the Boys of Fall.
Yeah.
What was the impetus behind that song, Kenny?
Well, I honestly, I knew that my sports days were limited, right, in high school. And I remember being in high school, my last game, and I just sat there forever and kept my cleats on and my shoulder pads on, because I knew when I took them off, that was it forever. And I think the song Boys of Fall just got into the core of a lot of family values. I feel like that a lot of families and communities that lean on their sports teams, I felt like that song was one of the songs that really touched the DNA of their life. And I grew up in that community, and there's a lot of communities. I mean, Foxborough is one of those communities, and New England has a lot of those communities. And when I grew up, we had certain things to lean on, and that was church, and that was school, music, and football.
Please welcome the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League, Mr. Tom Brady.
It was a big night for Tom, but for me, because me and my father, we don't have a lot in common, but we have football in common, and that's important. That's enough, really. And Tom Brady, whether he knows it or not, probably brought a lot of fathers and sons together. And it definitely was the the nucleus of this community for a long time, and so I was honored to be asked and to sing that song, and you know, yeah, Tom is Tom Brady now, right? But there was a time where he was a kid and his father was taking him to practice, and that's what that song's about, you know. And so whether you're Tom Brady or Kenny Chesney that, you know, quit growing in high school, you know, that song still resonates. And so it meant the world to me to sing it and to be here and to be a part of that special night for Tom. You know, there's nothing like it. I come in here to play, you know, and I get stopped. Wherever I go in New England, I get stopped, and it means a lot to me. They don't really, you know, want anything other than just to say thank you. And that's over years of, it's become generational now. You know, people that came to see us in 2005, which is our first year, are now bringing their kids, you know, and that means a lot to me, you know, and to know that you have such a connection, not with just the city, but a region. And it's special, and that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world for me. And we have great audiences everywhere and go play, you know, all kinds of different places and stadiums and stuff, but this is the only place where we feel connected to a region, not just a city.
Last time the Bengals and Patriots met, the Patriots were driving for a potential game-winning score when they fumbled inside the red zone to seal a 22-18 win for the Bengals.
Give to Ramondre Stevenson, runs it up the middle, pushed back and tackled. Ball came loose. The ball came loose. The Bengals say they have it. They do.
Today, the Bengals are one of the handful of teams considered to be worthy of knocking off the conference champion Kansas City Chiefs, as the Burrow-led Bengals have won 3 of the previous 5 games against the defending Super Bowl champions.
I think this team's really chomping at the bit to go out there and play against a real opponent in a real game. We're as prepared as we're going to be, and so I'm just excited to watch these guys let it loose and go play.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. As you can see, it's time for a new segment that we have here, A Little Side of Mayo, brought to you by Hellman's. Is that your favorite mayonnaise?
It is, absolutely.
All right, about cuts, and I've talked to you about this before, difficult decisions when you're cutting a guy. How tough is that on you now as a head coach, and how important is it for you to talk to these guys one-on-one when you do it?
You know, I would say it was one of the more difficult days I've had since I became the head coach of the Patriots. Look, I've been that player that was with another player, undrafted player that was, you know, looking at the clock go by, waiting for a phone call. So I definitely understand it, but it was very difficult. And I don't only think about the players, I also think about their families. But they understand the business side of it, and you know, you got to go out and perform each and every week, but it was a very difficult time for me.
Players come and go, right? It's going to be a roster that's not set through 53. You got practice squad. You're going to get guys coming in, calling guys up. Injuries happen. You ready for that?
I am. And we always talk about that next man up mentality, and I think Elliott and his staff do a good job identifying people that we could bring in if need be.
All right, good luck in Cincinnati. Don't eat the Skyline chili because of gas. All right, more Patriots All Access. We'll return right after this.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots. By Sports Illustrated Tickets, 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets, 0 fees. Fans deserve better. Visit sitickets.com today. And by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots.
It It was December of 1985, the regular season finale, which would also turn out to be the final regular season game for the great Julius Adams. With a playoff spot on the line, the Patriots held a 3-point lead in the fourth quarter at the 2-minute warning. Facing 4th and 1, Coach Ray Berry decided to go for it.
The handoff and still going is Robert Weathers down to the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5. He's got it all. Touchdown, Robert Weathers. They put the game away. Going for it on 4th down.
Pandemonium in Foxborough as the Patriots punched their postseason ticket that eventually would lead to the franchise's first Super Bowl appearance.
Welcome back in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios. Back with Mike Reese and Paul Barolo. Good to see you guys again. Absolutely. Low expectations of the football team. We all know that. But give me a reason to be positive.
Like, for me, the number one thing is just the future in Drake May. But I'm going to look at something specific to the defense and turnovers, Mike. You know, I think that's a really cyclical thing, forcing turnovers. And they really, as well as they played at times last year, they didn't force a lot of turnovers. I like the versatility on the back end with the safety group. And I think guys like Peppers, Duggar, they're around the ball. They're physical guys. I think they're going to force some turnovers, and that's going to be a reason for optimism.
Good thought. I'll go with Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. You know, I think the running game, the last time we saw them in the preseason, they averaged over 5 yards a carry. Now, that being said, they were going up against backups. I don't want to overrate that performance, but when I think about ways that the Patriots might be able to win this year, to me, the running game and leaning on Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson will be a key.
Okay, biggest concern. I got a feeling I know what you're going to say, but go ahead and say
Pretty
it.
much everything else. No.
How much time do you have?
In all seriousness, it just offensively in general, I think they have some question marks. And I think injuries, Mike, Hunter Henry being, less than 100%, those are guys I think that are really important to the cause. Obviously, the offensive line, Mike, I know you're going to talk about that in a second, but just overall, the health of the offense and the continuity, finding a way to put enough points on the board to win games.
And overall, the depth, I would just say, you lose a top guy, like Paul mentions Hunter Henry. To me, what's behind the top guys is a concern, but offensive line, to me, is where I start, guys. To me, that's the foundation of the house. And we see that if you can't block and you can't protect, you can't run block, like I talked about before, you're in trouble. So what do you have there? Left tackle, what are you going with? Is Vidarian Lowe really going to be ready? And if he is he good enough? Sidney So, is he going to be ready at left guard? So just more questions there on the offensive line.
There shouldn't be any questions surrounding this defense, and yet, that's the strength of this football team. Agree?
I do think it's the strength of the team, yes.
But are they automatic?
No. I feel like people have completely glossed over the loss of the almighty Bill Belichick, and to a lesser extent, Steve Belichick, who I think has done a good job calling the defense over the last few years.
And how about Matthew Judon?
Yeah, and the personnel losses everybody's talking about. Barmore and Judon, those are enormous hits to your front seven, which I think was the strength of the defense. Now you could probably make an argument that the backside, certainly those safeties that I talked about a second ago, is probably the strength. I still think they'll be okay. I don't think it's going to be a bad defense, but maybe not the top 5 unit that some people are predicting.
And that's what concerns me. As much as we talk about the offensive line, the foundation of the house, offensively, the defensive line and the front seven is the foundation of the defense. And losing Christian Barmore, who they had big plans for, I think is huge. And Matthew Judon, who's going to fill in at outside linebacker? We know Anthony Jennings is there, but, O'Shane Ximines, can he step up and do more? And some of those other players at that position, to me, that's a big question mark that maybe we're not talking about enough.
All right, so we all know it's on to Cincinnati. Give me a scenario where they can stay in this football game.
So the Bengals are a funny team early in the season. They have not been great. I think they're 1-3, with Joe Burrow. Now, the difference to me this year is Burrow's healthy, and he hasn't come out of training camp healthy each of those last 3 seasons. He's been dealing with something, but they have a lot of question marks. How can the Patriots sort of stay competitive in this game? Who knows what's going to happen with Jamar Chase, if he even plays. If he does, it kind of seems like a hamstring pull waiting to happen. He hasn't really done a whole lot during the course of the summer. Some of that sloppiness that you can see in Week 1, Cincinnati's history of sloppiness in Week 1, I think that plays in New England's favor.
I mean, we can always say no turnovers, so just acknowledging that. For me, how do you stay? Bonus points. That's what you need in this game. That means you're scoring on defense, or maybe you're scoring on special teams. You mentioned, give me a scenario. To me, that's something you got to have.
Prediction time.
So I do think the Patriots are going to hang around in this game a little bit, but I think in the end it's just too much Joe Burrow. And I think that's the difference. I think the Bengals win 27-16.
I actually like the spot for the Patriots. If you're going to get the Bengals, to me, this is the week to get them. But in the end, I'm with Paul. I think it's too much Burrow, 21-17.
All right, I love you both. I think you're both wrong.
Shocking.
But that's okay. That'll do it for this edition of Patriots All Access. For Mike Reese and Paul Perillo, I'm Steve Burton. Have a great week, everybody.